I have been calling for years. Back in 2008, as I recall, there was a group called the Concord, it wasn't the Coalition, Concord something. And they put a bunch of YouTubes up. Say that again? I think so. I think Concord Project, Troy says. And it was funded, I believe, by the Koch network. It was one of these Tea Party groups. And it was basically how, as a Tea Party, and their YouTubes are still out there. You can watch them. In fact, I play them on the show all the time. This was a how-to to the Tea Party average guy or gal, the average person, how to take over the Republican Party. And they started out saying the most powerful job in America, politically speaking, is precinct committee person or precinct committee chair. And it was all about how to join your local party and become a precinct committee person, because they're the people who determine who the primary candidates are going to be. So if they could get like 4 Tea Partiers on the primary, then they know that a Tea Partier is going to be on the general election. And they're the people who write the platform or start the writing of the platform. And we've been having now for years people calling in, bragging on how, hey, I'm now a Democratic precinct committee person in Denver or in San Francisco or in Los Angeles, whatever. So, that's been kind of my focus on getting people into the party and building the party. I'm not sure what else to encourage people to do. Thoughts, suggestions? Is that a good idea or a bad idea?
Oh, I think it's a great idea. And I mean, one of the things we've learned in our outreach is that there are a lot of places where we didn't have anyone doing that. When I was out in Kansas during the campaign for DNC chair, we learned that there were counties where there just de facto wasn't a Democratic Party presence, and they're changing that. And Kansas is a great example of what we can do when we organize, when we build the party and put our values into action. Donald Trump won Kansas by 14 points. The Democrats picked up 14 seats in the state legislature last year, Tom.
That's great.
In Kansas. And then you look now, I think there are 2 congressional seats. I think it's Congressional 2 and Congressional 3 in Kansas that we can pick up next year. Why? Because we're running good candidates. Our message is clear. We want a good education for everyone. I mean, you look at what Sam Brownback is doing in Kansas. It is radical right-wing engineering. And, that was the state of Nancy Kassebaum, a pretty moderate Republican. And Sam Brownback is the antithesis of that. Oh, yeah. And it's an example of what you're getting at. When the Tea Party took over Kansas, what you saw was radical right-wing engineering that has decimated their healthcare infrastructure, decimated their educational infrastructure, and that is why we have a chance. But we only have a chance, it seems to me, Tom, when we're organizing. And we got to organize 12 months a year, because I distinguish between mobilizing and organizing. And